Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Let's continue where we left off yesterday. We were talking about APC's call for national unity. We had the National Publicity Secretary of APC. He was accompanied by the organizing secretary, and that's what they were talking about: unity, unity, unity. And this is against the backdrop, as you know, of calls by youth groups, divisive calls. And so there was a need from the point of view of the ruling party to, send all the people out and put out the good word that, look, guys, let's just get serious here. The Progressive Governors Forum has said when they had their meeting, I think it was mid-June, that, look, there must be a country first, and that there are ways we go about all of these things. So we'll continue that conversation and APC's reaction to this. And we have Dr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, NIJ. Thank you very much, as always, for coming on, Jide.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Uncle Yori.
Thank you.
Sharing this set with you is a privilege.
Thank you very much. It's so kind. Now, the call, this call by the Coalition of Northern Youths, that was what, first of all, blew the lid off it, so to speak. But they're not alone. There's also the independent peoples of Biafra, indigenous peoples of Biafra. So all of these calls were getting worrying. Now, APC has said that, well, this whole restructuring thing and this whole matter about let everybody go their way, why is it all coming up now? By all means, there are problems with the country, but the way it is coming up now is certainly not the way to go. There must be a way we can get together and talk about this matter. They're spot on, I imagine, or wouldn't you say so?
You see, Uncle Yori, you see, the essential element of democracy is a structured party system. A lot of us clamored for us to have two strong parties. We're looking forward to that. And until 2013, we never had that opportunity until the emergence of APC, when all the progressive elements came together to form APC. And then we had strong opposition then. And then PDP, the ruling party. And they give PDP a good run for money. So it was, the choice was it's either we continue with the wrath of the past or we embrace the hope of change. And for democracy, partisan democracy to survive, you need strong party system. You agree with me that to a large extent, PDP is already divided, stratified, different kind of groups within the party. Within the APC itself, there are different groups. So once there is problem within the party system, it will affect the polity. And that's what we are not getting right. It will affect the polity. For us to have a peaceful society, for us to have a peaceful democracy, there must be peace in PDP, there must be peace in APC, because those are the platform through which you govern the Nigerian state. Those are the platform through which you can have access to state power. And once that is not in place, there will be clamor for restructuring. There will be clamor for people to, the Biafra agitation. There will be clamor for people to leave a particular territory and go back to their country, because the party structure that should embrace diverse interests and harmonize that diverse interest is not functioning. That's the truth. The truth must be told.
I hear you. It's not functioning, but sorry, I was distracted. I saw Kitty's face. I saw your view, so that just distracted me for a moment. The governors themselves have admitted at their forum, the paper that they released, that, look, granted, there would appear to be, a lack of governance on the level that it had been expected would be in place now, and that this has led on to very much all that you've been speaking about. So and no doubt this lack of governance will be a function of some of the internal disharmonies in the ruling party itself. We spoke about it at length yesterday. The National Assembly all by itself, in the view of many, manages to constitute itself into something of an opposition party, although my guest denied that yesterday.
No, because the national caucus of the party is not functioning. Now, if you look at the constitution of the parties, both parties, there's what is called the national caucus. The national caucus is made up of the national chairman, the president, the vice president, the senate president, the chairman of the board of trustees, the speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, one of the functioning of 1979 government to 1983, you discover that the party has a say in the governance. You ask an average person that was going on, you tell you he knew the national chairman of Adisakinloye.
Yes.
You hear me? Adisakinloye. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Because you see, people that frame partisan democracy that comes from, then, for instance, if the president, the speaker of the House of Rep, the Senate president, the deputy Senate president, the deputy speaker, the vice president, the secretary to the federal government, are you getting my point? And the national chairman and the chairman of, if they meet regularly,
Yes.
as provided for in the constitution, all these divisions will not exist.
Because they would be on the same page.
Exactly, they will be. But you see, if you don't make use of structure, you will have dislocation. And because there are structural systems, there are process and procedure through which, I'll ask you this. Does the party, or as any political party in power nationally, has or had any say in governance? Now, you come to power through the party. The party is the platform. And you can't get to power and jettison the party structure, the party system. You see, so for us to really enjoy the gains of this democracy, the party supremacy must be in place. Because you can't.
Okay, because if it isn't in place, then what would be the consequences of? Because there seems to be some
challenges
sort of,
we are having at the different pages. You recall? Let me take you back. You recall the issue concerning Undo's gubernatorial ticket, where the national chairman was this, and other members of the working committee were different at different pages. You always have this
disparate groupings.
And look at the clamor for the structure, and some top-notch leaders, the national leader, a presidential candidate, a presidential aspirant rather, and other top said, you know, there's a need for us to sit down and restructure this society. The national chairman said something different. The presidency said something different. So you can't work at cross purposes, and that is why we must respect structure. I have said it over and over again. If you have people coming into power not having respect for the constitution of their party, which is the foundation of their access to power, if they come to power, they will not have respect for Nigerian constitution. And we have been experiencing that since 1999. Because there are process and procedure through which you can discipline, control, and regulate governance through your party system.
So do you think then that these calls, apart from being sort of a consequence of all that you have said, are also, shall we say, this is what is being veiled, you know, by these shenanigans that we're seeing. Elders are refusing to, well, not so much refusing, we're slow to speak up. The vice president, the acting president, and all sorts of people have said that, look, the time has come for elders, traditional rulers all over the place who have a stake in the unity of Nigeria to speak up and let the people know that this is not quite on. That they are being encouraged to do so. That one surprised me.
If you don't make open the forum for discussion, for expression of interest, you make dissent inevitable. You see, the party platform, I'll ask you this, and I've said it. You see, I think I used to be a member of the editorial team of one newspaper, and when APC was, I was instructed to write the editorial that APC might not fail. When APC just came in, I wrote the editorial. And you see, we said APC should learn from the lessons of the PDP. From the lessons. One of the major reasons why PDP failed is lack of internal democracy, stifling of divergent views. and the party and the government speaking at different, having variant opinion concerning national issues. You see, what we hear from the presidency should be what we should hear from the national chairman, should be what we should hear from the Senate. And you agree with me that from 1999 till date, the National Assembly has always been at variance with the presidency. And unfortunately, it is the party that has controlled the presidency that has always controlled the national. Why? Because the platform for discussion, the platform for disagreement, the platform for debate is always closed. Once the national caucus function, once the national chairman asserts his authority as the father of all, calls the president, calls the Senate president, calls the national leader, and then you see, before election, the governors, the presidents were candidates, they were taking instruction from the party. The party was the leading light. The party was, after election, why do you jettison the party? Why do you jettison the party? A lot of people...
In fact, the president was referred to as the leader of the party. He still is. But is it more in name than in anything else?
You see, that's the challenge. That's the challenge we have. Do they call Obama the leader of the party? You see, there is a particular thing. Okay, you help me because one don't worry, I will recall.
But I was going to say that different democracies will apply in different areas. What is democratic to us might not be to the U.S. and vice versa.
We are operating the U.S. system of presidential system of governance. So
sort of.
That's what we use. That's what we have an executive president, the head of government, and the head of state enshrined in one person, in one authority. So that's
but part of their own democracy, as you know, will allow an independent prosecutor to investigate the president. Who is going to come and do that around Africa here?
Yeah, that's why some people have called for restructuring. That's why those have come. That we should have independent investigator. We should have that the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice should be separated.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? That that office should be separated. Like the police, like DSS. DSS should not be. DSS should be under the Minister of. Should be under the Attorney General. It should be under the Attorney General. Should be under the Attorney General. So those are restructuring. Those issues, those are part of the agitation. That we believe that 20 years after, we should see some leading light. But it still seems as if it is business.
Yeah, but APC, my read of APC is that they don't quite like the word restructuring. They feel it's too much of a hot potato. But it seems that what they would want, my guesswork and also listening to some of their leading lights is what they call true federalism that involves fiscal federalism, and that's not about to happen overnight.
That's just playing around words, Uncle Yori. Whether it's structuring or fiscal federalism, it's about, you see, when we talk about governance, there is organic separation of powers, and there is structural separation of power. Organic, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. That's organic, amongst organs of government. Structural separation of powers talks about the federal government, the state government, and the local government. We should also talk about three lists: the exclusive list, the concurrent list, and the residual list. We talked about items which states, local government, and federal government could legislate on. It's about structure. So if you are running away, we are just playing with. And don't forget, the APC represents the progressive ideology. The APC represents the mass. The APC stands for restructuring, campaigned on restructuring, is the party of restructuring. So there's no way that and that's why some are clamoring that, you know what, probably the party has been hijacked by people that were not part and parcel of the formation of the ideology of the party. You recall.
Because all those things you just said about APC, they seem to me to be the APC brand attributes.
Exactly.
Those are the brand attributes.
Yeah.
Now, whether the APC of today, as opposed to in the beginning when they were forming it, is one and the same, that's where all bets are off.
That's where the telling. That's where the national caucus comes.
Because as you know, the PDP moved into APC, exactly. But it is still called APC.
That's why the national caucus comes in. That's why the national working committee comes in. That's why the leadership of the party, I'll throw this at you. How regularly do they meet? Have they called the national caucus meeting? You know, have they done the national convention of the party? You see, there are issues. There are those that are clamoring that there should be national convention of the party so that the proper structure could be in place. And you see, like you said, now it seems as if the conservative element within the APC, when APC gets into power, have dominated the progressive element. You know, it was a conflagration of different elements. It seems as if, and that's from analysis, it seems as if conservative elements are dominating the structure of the party now.
Yes, we can't leave matters be. As you were going to remember a Yoruba proverb, this whole baby on the back of the mother with its head askew cannot be, we can't just be looking at it. And that, I think, is what APC means when it now gets up and takes, sent out all its governors, the progressive governors, high-ranking party members, to go, as it were, talk to the public, just in case the public didn't quite understand what our perspective is. Now, the call, I'd like you to sort of address that. The call on traditional rulers and other local elders to nip this thing in the bud. What do you think about that? Because whereas one understands that call, why did those elders need to be told? Were they also partly persuaded by some of those arguments, even though it's not their place to come out and admit such?
You know, the unfortunate thing, they are part and parcel of the problem. An average Nigerian does not care where his president comes from, where his governor comes from, as long as there's food on his table, as long as he can send his children to affordable school, as long as he can get affordable housing. We don't care. But you know what? It is these elements that has caused division. Do traditional leaders need to be prompted to come up with a statement coming against any call by disgruntled elements or infantile groups that do not have an understanding of where we are coming from, that do not experience the civil war, that do not understand slavery, that do not understand colonialism, and you're allowing them to take center stage.
Unlike El-Rufai, who immediately
nobody need to be
nobody need to advise. Nobody he immediately swung into action.
Because once
which you can't say about other governments.
Once you have been made a leader, you assume that leadership. You assume that leadership.
Okay.
You assume that leadership.
I tell you what, Jide, forgive me. I got to go on a quick break so we can bring on another guest. But stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've since been joined by Mr. Ola Daniel. He's a lawyer and public affairs analyst. Thank you very, very much for coming on, Ola.
Thank you.
Well, joining the conversation, you've been listening to the conversation. The very fact that the authorities now, the governors, the acting president, and just about everybody is saying that, look, elders should not just fold their arms. They need to, speak the truth to these errors that are going on. But I didn't mean to be dismissive when I call them errors, and because we've said that there are, even everybody agrees that there is cause for talk, but it must be in a structured sort of a way, because, to paraphrase the Progressive Governors Forum, there must be a country first. Yes. And the way things are going, if we're not careful. But examine that whole matter about elders needing to be talked to be appealed to, unlike El-Rufai, for example, who swung into action immediately.
Well, I always say this. If we're patriots, we will not, nobody will be talking about appealing to some people. If the country and the nation as a whole come to our mind first, before who we are, before our tribe, before our ethnicity, we will not be where we are. Governor El-Rufai came up immediately he was able to address the issue. Even if, some people from some other quarters are still saying, yeah, he spoke, but has any arrest been made and all that? What happened to others? If you go to the east, sorry to say this, you will see Biafra flags almost everywhere. No governor has ever said anything. No governor has called anybody to order.
Are you very sure about that? Because
very sure. I was in the east recently and I saw things. And nobody is saying anything. And you're telling me there's some people are not somehow behind supporting. I mean, this move.
Because there is the problem of democracy, freedom of speech, which the acting president has warned. It is in place, but there are laws. There are laws that must not be broken, lest you pay the consequence.
And a lot to be avoided. Because like, I'm sorry, I'll use
Dr. Johnson.
I'll use prop for him.
Dr. Johnson.
He was saying, as in when, before I came up, and he said, some of these people don't even know anything about the war. They never experienced it. I was in Jos in 2001. I saw a preview of war. Let me say war. I saw it live. Thank God some of us are alive today to still talk about it. I can never pray for it. Every chance I have to talk to people. See, the leaders know the truth. The truth is, we are not telling ourselves the truth. Until we are ready to address this issue and tell ourselves the truth, until you and I are ready to take the horns by the boom and tell these so-called young people this youthful exuberancy affecting them need to stop.
But do you agree with Dr. Johnson's analysis of how we got where we are because of a lack of cohesion within the ruling party itself? And what you don't have the foundation. And so it's almost like quicksand. What are you going to build on quicksand?
Well, I'm not going to say there was no foundation at all. We saw things. In fact, some of us, we were, okay, let's see a new thing. And don't forget, there were visionaries. There were some people, they were on the table that had the vision of restructuring and, I mean, putting country, forward and first in all things. But
no, that was before the...
Uncle Yori, when the so-called parties took over. So what happened? Where's the vision? Where are the visionaries? Where are the people that gave birth to the vision of the so-called APC? Sorry if I have to use that.
The economy interfered.
The
downturn in the economy, and then everybody shouting hunger, and the price of oil going down to cents of barrel, and so there was now confusion all over the place.
This government had enough. Probably they were so good at opposition because they had ample time. Yes, ample time. You came into the office. You even had how many months to even decide on what to do. They were not proactive. They didn't see it coming. You know, economy was bad. You know, things were not working. You were all out for it. That was what you told us when you were coming in, that you saw things are bad and you're going to fix it. Then you are coming in to tell me the economy is bad.
No, well, no. But okay, because what happened was that we've been told the price of oil just floored straight away. There was confusion galore, no money, all the plans, all in the trash can.
This is not the time price of oil has been falling.
Uncle Yori, first and foremost, I think those that are agitating for secession should understand what happened in Southern Sudan. Southern Sudan has never remained the same. Let me give them a clue this way. A bishop was appointed for the NBC diocese by the Catholic Church. Just within the Igbo land. The bishop is from Anambra, and the NBC people, for the first time in modern history, for the first time in all history, the laity and the priest are resisting the Pope. That's even within. You see, people should learn from Yugoslavia. What happened in Yugoslavia? As we are better together. And like he pointed out, these people are being sponsored. And it's every time that we are approaching an electoral cycle that this thing happens. And we know. It's about negotiation. And you could even hear a statement from Professor Ango Abdullah, a professor of that matter, making that has been a minister of the Federal Republic, a VC in this country, making such ridiculous and reckless statement. It's about power game. What is going on?
Could you just paraphrase in case anybody missed that? Paraphrase what Ango Abdullah said.
I said it's a reckless statement. What he said that the Igbo should, everybody should go back to their not at this material point in time. We are better.
Which is very strange
to hear from someone of that status in the side that has occupied a lot of federal offices in this country, Minister of the Federal Republic, VC, and you know, it's pathetic. Now, to come to the economy issue, you see, there is nothing stopping you coming back to the Nigerian people to let the Nigerian people know what is wrong. Nigerians are the most easiest people to govern once they are in the know of what is going on. You see, if there is food on my table, if there is water flowing through my tap, if there is light, nobody cares about where the president is from.
And these are the plans that they had.
Exactly. Nobody cares. But he said something. You see, when this party came into power, the wife of the president made a wonderful statement, and we don't usually go back to it. We like to gloss over it. He said, the people that brought his husband to power have been shoved aside, while those that knew next to nothing about it have taken over.
And these are part of the complication.
Exactly, and that's reality. Because this party had a manifesto. This party had programs of action. This party had a template. I can say with all due respect to the administration, without that, not a single of what they had in the structure has been implemented. Why? Because the people that came up with the template have been shoved aside.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the party itself, had it a representative here, would not disagree with you. That, look, it's a matter of degree. We might not have got everywhere that we want to be, but you cannot say that there is no progress. That is probably going to be their point of view. Challenges.
At the national, let me give you an example. There are two APC government at the state level, using Lagos State as a case study, and the national level. Where Lagos State compare APC's performance in Lagos and APC performance at the national. Two parties, economic crisis, economic issue. Where the two? The only way you make science of public administration is to do a comparative analysis. In this case, the cases are different because it's federal to state. Even the federal had more money. Now compare the two. It's there for everybody to see. See the one that is running with the template of the party and see the one that is not running with the template of the party.
Okay, one moment, please. Mr. Femi calling in from Surulere. Good morning. Femi, do you want to contribute to the conversation? Oh, we're waiting for you. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Co-panelist.
Thank you.
I want to contribute to this discussion.
We're waiting for you.
I'm from Surulere. What exactly I want to say is this. Hello? What I want to contribute is this, is that they have a proverb: a hungry dog doesn't play with a fed dog. The major problem we are having in this issue of unity is just because some people are, almost 80% of Nigerians are in a bad shape. If everybody is in good shape, all this talk of unity or no unity wouldn't be there. So I will advise the federal government.
All right, thank you very much. You're listening to, unfortunately, the satellite feedback, but thank you very much. We did get your point, and it has been made here already that, look, if people have the basic necessities, they'll get on with it and don't have time for all these secessionist ideas, but light is what it is. Water is what it is. Housing is what it is. Food is what it is. So because of that, it's been analyzed by Dr. Johnson that this is where you now give room for all these kinds of dissatisfactions and tensions. But what the APC seems to be saying through its governors forum at least is that there is no argument that we must talk, but only in a structured sort of a way, so that we can then arrive at a mutually, agreeable resolution of this whole matter, which is very, very, very different from what some have said of reckless calls, that, well, who are those people? Yeah. The Coalition of Nothing Youths, saying that October 1 is your date. The other people saying that Nigeria is a zoo. What's going on here?
Yeah, Uncle Yuri, I will start by saying, on the contrary, I won't say the APC government has not done anything. Mm-hmm. I will only put it this way, that they have done below expectation. Okay,
one moment please. You continue when I come back from Abuja. Good morning, Mr. Gwenga.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Good morning to your guest there.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Benga. I'm calling from Abuja.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
You see, I want to tell you that Nigerians are united. When I mean the middle class to the poorest on the streets, we have no problem with ourselves. Go to any market, you will see an Hausa man, Igbo man selling and buying anywhere in the country. I've traveled all over Nigeria, east, west, south, and I've seen that we are united. It is our big men, the elite, who are there, who are causing our problem, because they use all these things for political bargaining. Once they don't have what they want, they go about to the lower level, trying to incite us against one another, so that they cannot use it for a bargain. The problem is in Southeast is that some people failed in the last election, and they feel that the only way we can get what we want back in 2019 is to cause all this opera, all this agitation, so that they cannot outdo the present government to give them what they see they're entitled to. Look at it. In the past government, Yoruba were left out. Name the first 10 powerful positions in Nigeria. Yoruba were not there. Nobody carried placard. Nobody demanded for Yoruba Republic. But we sat down and look at how can we get what we want. How can we get and then look at what is happening today. My brother, corruption and selfishness is the cause of all these things. I'm glad this government will have all enough to do what they want to do and bring food on our table and give us life and road. And we see that this elite will be nowhere to be found. Okay. They are working on sensibility. They are working on the suffering of Nigeria, trying to use it against. We are united. Go on the street. Whether the same boss, whether the same tax, we are united, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. I really appreciate that call. So back to you, Ola. His read is that, the ordinary guys have no problems. It is the elite that are causing all of this. What do you think of that theory?
Well, I'll go with him by 80%, and I have my reasons. During General Babangida's regime, what happened to the restructuring? What did he do? Rather, he left us in our bins.
But IBB is now an advocate.
Thank you. Now, he's the advocate of the structuring. What happened? Is it that the Oga is not really visible, in the government of today again, and it needs, to be. Now, who are the people really? Because when Governor El Rufai spoke about it, to him, well, I gave him a thumbs up, and people were like, no, he shouldn't have said. I said, why? That's the truth. Who are the people asking for restructuring? Now, going by the last caller's statement, contributions, we all know. The elite, we know what they want. It's not about the common man. The common man wants food, he wants water. The common man just wants to live a simple life, the basics, and they don't even have it. So you need to capitalize on that, because they don't have it. You need to even come and give them a stipend to get them to your side and perpetrate
for political, nefarious political
selfish reasons.
Freedom in Agege, good morning. Thank you for holding on.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Based on what the last caller said, the last caller made just a very big point But being a Nigerian, when you study what is happening in Nigeria, then you will know that really Nigeria is just a very simple people to work with. But our leaders are very sentimental in everything they are doing. Just for instance, in the media already, there are some certain utterances you should not make while in media, because this media have power to change many people's mind who are so patriotic in anything they do. But our leaders, when they are come out, they should watch their utterances.
Okay.
Especially because when you are in media, you cannot say, there are some certain things you should not say. Again, APC calling for the unity of Nigeria is a very good step, but they should also work, because they should set some maybe committee to work. For instance, here in Agege, if we just move to the street, because there are many people on the street, when you ask those, what is their mindset, those people in the street are the major Nigerians. When you ask them their mindset, then you will know whether you're, as a government, you are working for the benefit of those people in the streets, or you are working against their will. Because when you, for instance, when you want to, because Nigeria is more than 170 million people, and if you want to do something, you call maybe 400 people to decide on 100 million something people. You cannot have their mind. But when you move to the street, know their mind, then you will know what you speak, or
Okay.
what the matter that is affecting them.
Sure. Thank you very much for calling in. Really appreciate you, Freedom. And picking up on an aspect of his contribution, when you look at social media, you see actually that from the commentary, free commentary going on there, most people are not for secession. In fact, the people are saying, "Count me out." This is the most harebrained scheme that I've ever heard of. You find some people saying that no, nobody can come and drag us into it, or those people are on their own. So, just going back to the point being made that the ordinary guys they're cool. They're cool. Yeah. It's other people who are funding this, and I suppose part of this APC's call is perhaps to maybe unveil all of this, so people can see exactly what's going on, if that is indeed what is going on. One doesn't mean to oversimplify it, because I'm sure it is a complex issue. But it needs to be said that I just like the line of the progressive governor that there must be a country first.
There must be a party first.
And there must be, there must be a party first.
For you to, under democracy, you need a well-structured party system. I tell you, Uncle Yori, if there is peace in APC, if there is harmonization, there are divergent groups. There are different interests. If there is peace in APC and there is peace in PDP, I tell you all these agitations will come to naught. And like the callers have said, nobody cares. In 1980, in 1979, you have a call. In 1979, the governor of Lagos State and the deputy were both Muslim. In Ogun State, they were both Christian. In Oyo State, they were both Christian. In 1993, the president and the vice president, it is the elites, through the use of the media, that shapes public discourse. And like it has been pointed out, let's go out there. You see in the market, you see different ethnic groups mixing and all jingling together.
Harmoniously together.
And the unfortunate thing, it is when there is disagreement among the elites that you have dislocation in the society. And the elites themselves, when they gather together, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked.
Let me bring in Austin. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Uncle Jory.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Thank you so much. I just want to give kudos to the two gentlemen on the platform today. They have done so very well. Unlike the one of yesterday, they were not telling Nigerians the truth because they were all from the APC platform. We know what is happening today. When PDP was in power, they were lying to Nigerians. Now APC is in power. They are lying more to Nigerians. They don't tell Nigerians the truth. They don't want us to know what is happening in the country. Because if I talk about unity, we talk about Nigeria. So let's pray for Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Well, thank you very, very much for calling in. Let's pray for Nigeria. Of course, we must pray, but we must also work and pray. And the work that needs to be done is we've got to find, I think, some sort of a template for us to do that which is needful, which is find a way to talk about these matters openly, so that agreements can be reached, they can be thrashed. But I think we've heard it from you people who come and help us out that, look, if you make Georgia impossible, you are the person inviting war. But at the same time, everybody seems to be scared stiff of a conference, of a national conference. Well, because they probably think of it as something of a Pandora's box.
Thank you. I was about asking that what happened to the national conference we had during President Goodluck Jonathan? What happened to the report? Has anybody considered it? Had anybody asked for it? Now, there was the number of people did that initially, but today, we don't even hear anything about it. Nobody has even said, let's look at what was even discussed.
Yes. And that cost us a pretty penny.
Yes.
We spent money on that.
A lot. Our own tax, ad-hand money was spent on that particular conference. And what is the result today? Somebody has jettisoned that. Sorry, Uncle Yori, I will say this. Contrary to Doctor's position of party first before country, I will disagree.
Okay.
I will say country first before party. Okay. And I have my reasons for that. When we play football on the field and we have a World Cup or something, when our boys goes to play, at that moment, there is no ethnicity, there is no party, there is no rich, there is no poor, there is nothing. Everybody look forward to Nigeria, and anything that happens is about Nigeria, not about any particular whatever. And also look at America. They have their Democratic, they have their Republican, and they have some maybe other parties. But when an election is over, everybody come back to the table, and it becomes USA.
Yes.
When are we going together? So it's not about.
Although now that you went there, the Trump is proving to be something of an exception.
But don't forget that
because
even all
suddenly
of them,
you are having not my president.
Thank you. But even all of them are still working towards the now. Even the Republicans are checkmating him. Some of them are telling him the truth. You don't go that route, and everybody is working towards the country. Why can't we be like that? And Nigeria come first before the party, before an individual, before the rich, before the poor. And if we can do that, I'm sure we'll be somewhere today.
Okay, Yakub, I beg you. Thank you very, very much. Go ahead now, Yakub.
Yeah, thank you, Shivori. Thank you very much.
All right.
Shivori, I wish that that panel yesterday, it was not those two that you brought in. You know why?
The National Publicity Secretary and the Organizing Secretary of APC.
Yes, I could prefer you brought Malam Abdullah and the gentleman in the white yesterday, so that the panel will be balanced. You see, yesterday I called in, but unfortunately my call was not picked yesterday. I could have asked yesterday, especially the Malam Abdullah, that what is his own opinion by Nigerians says that President made a mistake by saying he can work with anybody in the National Assembly. I wanted to hear from him yesterday, but unfortunately I could not get him. Yes, I would say that, Shivori, you see, the gentleman in the White House already said it on, Shivori.
Dr. Johnson.
The people that drive the political APC, right from the beginning, they are not money in the party. Yes, they are there in the physical, but in the people they are not there because they already shut them out. Now, Shivori, it is unfortunately remain 2 years. You know now, Shivori, that we campaign for them. We fought for them. We know that General Muhammadu Buhari mean well for Nigerians. That's why we voted for them, we campaigned for them vigorously. But just within 2 years, it is unfortunately that we cannot get something that we voted for, Shivori, because of this kind of National Assembly we had. Where is the political party since then? Now, the APC, they are not coming out telling Nigeria that unity, where are they then? Yesterday, Balaji Abdullahi was telling us that they are working behind. How are you working behind, Shivori? You call yourself a political party, and then your people that were elected to the power, they are doing something else. What you are not telling Nigeria, they are doing another thing. And then you are telling us that you are working behind. Behind on what?
So, Yakub, even though I know you are a supporter of APC and this government, but it seems like you're dissatisfied.
I'm totally dissatisfied, but I still believe that we can get it.
All right.
Yes, probably Nigerian citizens take the bull by the horn. See, if there is nobody can tell us lie again. I pray Mr. President should be well. If Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari is around, I think it is not around. The active president will do whatever he can do, but that's a limit. If you don't let us tell ourselves a lie.
Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call.
Uncle Yori, you know one thing. Bolaji Abdullahi was my senior in Unilag. We were in Unilag together. He was the erstwhile Minister of Sport under Jonathan administration. You see, they are normally in this system. He was Minister to Jonathan, left office, now the spokesperson for APC. It gives you a picture of what has happened with the party. It gives you a picture of what has happened. Someone that was not there at the formative stage, they understand the principle, the value, now the spokesperson. And like callers have pointed, it is the elites. We are just used as bargaining chips. They are playing chess.
Yeah.
Niger Delta agitation got Jonathan into power. Probably Nadeko, Abiola got Obasanjo into power, and the agitation on the north got Buhari. So leave it to in the east. Don't let us do that. Let us do this. This permutation, if you look at it, it's a game.
Oh dear. One moment, please. Sadiq, Abuja, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I hardly know how to pronounce your name, Uncle.
Sir?
I hardly know how to pronounce your name. Sorry.
Yori.
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 Yori. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. And just drop the uncle. Yori.
Come from Abuja.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I really appreciate this program. But all what we need in this country is prayer. And secondly, one of your presenters made mention of one particular thing, that Nigeria is ruling by cabal. So one particular group is one ruling this country. It doesn't mean any party that come into the power. It can be APC, it can be PDP, it can be any party. But in my point of view, there is a particular people around this country that are ruling this country. They don't care which party come into the power. Thank you very much, Mr. Uncle.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Sadiq, all the way from Abuja. And that's talk about throwing a spanner in the whole works. This is now going to scatter all calculations and permutations. That look, I'm hearing all the grammar that the doctor is saying, and I understand it. His students must read it back to him if they want to pass. But let me tell you, as a Nigerian, it doesn't matter. There are this cabal business. We hear about cabals from the churches. God knows, maybe we even hear about it from the mosque. Now we're hearing about it in our national life. But is it such a fantastic, far-fetched idea that there seems to be a clique that no matter who's in power, they are going to be in quote-unquote power, as you say? In other words, the power behind the throne. Do you think we have anything as insidious as that going on? Who wants to take a stab at it?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, in Nigeria, we have... That's the reality. No reality. Let's unveil.
So whether APC or whether NNP or anybody,
let us unveil the identities of the people that have taken decision concerning the destiny of this country in 1999 till death, and remove the party, and we begin to do the names. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked that they are the same. They just recycle. Themselves. They do a rebranding. You brought up the brand attributes of APC.
Yes.
They just do a rebranding process.
Oh dear.
A former president and a
relaunch.
national leader and chairman of a board of trustee of a party, ruling party for 16 years, tore the card of the party openly and then shifted his camp. For instance, can you do anything in Nigeria? Let's take it without Obasanjo. Which party does Obasanjo belong to?
No. Well,
which party
he tore up his card.
Which party does Babangida belong to?
Well, it's still with PDP. He has
No,
not
which
denounced.
party? I'm asking you, which party?
Yeah, PDP.
Okay.
Which party does Atiku belong to?
Let me take the last
APC.
caller. Gentlemen, let me take the last caller today. Chooks, calling in from Ogba, I believe. Good morning, Chooks.
Yeah, Mr. Yuri.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Go right ahead.
My little contribution to this program is that the foundation is faulty, and so you must expect all these cracks happening in this country. So Nigerians are beginning to awaken from all this indolence and look, the elite bringing out in different things that can make Nigerians to appear as if we are indolent. We are not. And I appreciate what the doctor is saying. Thank you.
Indeed, thank you very much. Well, what seems to be coming through, and I've completely run out of time, is that people out there are wiser than people think, than these elites think, if indeed the elite are to blame. That they seem to be seeing through it all. What is now left is, I imagine, what the APC is now doing, putting out the word so people can see, don't be deceived. There must be a country first, and don't let anybody else kid you. I think that's the bottom line. Just very brief, please, because I have 30 seconds more.
Okay, Yuri,
30 seconds.
One, we need to also look at the so-called Ministry of Information and Orientation.
Okay.
What are they doing
Okay.
to even inform Nigerians? Because these people we are talking about, not even the elites now, what do we have as to knowledge? Then two, about the cabal, forget even in the Constitution made provision for them. We have the National Council. When it comes to that, when they have their meeting, so don't let us even go into cabal.
So,
very briefly, please.
My take is that we should just pray for peace and harmony to exist in the party. And once that is in the party should absorb all interest, diverse interest, and harmonize it for the good of the society.
As you say, as we have said, you can't do anything without peace as a foundation. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Jide Johnson, Deputy Provost, NIJ, and Mr. Ola Daniel, Public Affairs Analyst and legal practitioner. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.